Our hero, Nurx, was part of a large crew traveling through space to explore and take that new knowledge back to their home planet. As they were going past an unknown star in an unknown region of space, a huge plasma eruption occurred on the surface of the star and sent a big cloud of electrically charged plasma right past their ship into space. It caused damage to a lot of electronic systems on the ship, but even so, they were lucky. Had it come a little closer, it would have completely destroyed all systems on the ship, including life support. There was a lot of chaos in the aftermath of the plasma eruption and the resulting damage to the ship. The captain and officers had their hands full with maintaining order while the ship was on an unknown path into the darkness of space, its control and navigation systems damaged by the plasma blast. Amidst this chaos, our hero, one of the junior personnel in engineering, came up with what proved to be a life-saving idea. He remembered seeing the star and its planets in their orbits on a display screen in engineering before the plasma catastrophe knocked out the power. They were drifting on a collision course with the second planet in the system. When he mentioned this to his fellow crewmates, they panicked even more. But Nurx had a simple and brilliant idea to turn this possible collision around in their favor. Although the ship's steering systems was damaged, they could use the thrust of releasing the escape pods to slow the ship down and steer it into orbit around the second planet. The ship had escape pods facing in all directions, so they would have to fire the right one at the right time to steer the ship. He estimated that they had about 70 hours before they would get close enough to the planet. This would give them just about 3 days to make the calculations and plan the execution. It was going to be an intense 3 days with no margin for even a single mistake. They planned and calculated for 3 days around the clock. The captain made available every resource Nurx needed. Finally, they were ready. At exactly 67 hours since the plasma burst, they started shooting out the escape pods, very carefully, in the right sequence, and each at exactly the right time. They would shoot out a pod, wait some time to observe the new direction, and shoot out another one. 11 hours later, they were in a close orbit around the planet. They had pulled it off. There was one escape pod left. It had to be packed full of supplies and fuel, and someone had to fly down to the planet's surface to see if they could live there, or alternatively, bring all the other escape pods back to the ship. There was no doubt as to who was the right person for this job. The one whose ideas saved the ship and its crew. The one with a knack to come up with simple, practical solutions in the most desperate situations. He was a junior, but what he lacked in experience, he made up for with his out-of-the-box thinking and problem-solving abilities. Besides, he would take a SeeBox with him so that he could learn everything he needed to know to fix the other escape pods. Far from being over, his job had only just begun.